Okay, so Ruth, you realize this is the last episode of this saga. So it's episode 6 of 6, and this is where the vehicle gets painted and we put it all together. So what has this been like for you? And how many months has it been?
I think we're going on 8 or 9 months.
Yeah, was it like
Maybe that.
Thanksgiving?
Yeah, and I love how you say we put it back together. I do help, but I'm like a low-level assistant that comes in after you have everything all set up and say, I need help carrying this heavy thing.
You have a lot of great ideas. You have a lot of great ideas. You didn't appear almost at all in the first couple of episodes, and then all of a sudden you start showing up. So anyway,
yeah.
So episode 6, paint and finish work to get this thing driving. So that's it. So doing the final touches before I take everything to the paint shop, and if you watched episode 3, you saw me with the whole vehicle disassembled down in my basement, doing all the priming, epoxy, and block sanding of all the parts. So now it's time to take those parts, as well as the chassis and body itself, to a paint shop, and I used a place called Riva's Automotive. I live in the Richmond, Virginia area, and downtown Richmond there's a place called Riva's, and they're really excellent at what they do. And it's one thing's for sure, when you select a paint shop, it's not about how fancy their parking lot or their lobby is, or what zip code they're in. It's about the people. It's about the commitment among the staff to a job well done, to have pride and techniques. So that's the experience I had here at Riva's. They were excellent. They insisted on more block sanding and wet sanding even after all the work that I did. So what Andre is applying here is not even the final color coat, it's actually another primer sealer coat. So we agreed to tint it black for this sealer coat, and that will allow them to still do some more wet sanding if necessary before the final color coat, to be followed by clear coat. So all of that was done there at Riva's, and they've done an excellent job. But anyone that's been around bodywork knows that the work really starts after the paint and clear, and that's the cut and buff phase, where you've got a person using a hand buffer and all the effort it takes to make the showroom finish on these parts. So now Ruth and I are loading these parts up to take them back home. I didn't need to replace the rear quarter glass, but I did replace the rubber seals that go around the glass. They were somewhat dry rotted, and you could break off pieces of that rubber. So these brand new window seals were really nice to put in. Talk about it. These letters are just peel and stick, but I was just paranoid about getting everything just right. The worst thing could happen, in my mind, would be for you to stand back and see crooked letters or have it be not centered or something like that. So maybe that's just my OCD coming out. One of my favorite products is spray cans of Trim Black. A lot of different people make Trim Black, and the product I use is SEM is the brand, but it's just a really pretty satin finish of a black paint, and a lot of vehicles use Trim Black in many locations, so I went through a lot of cans on this build. But it makes for a really pretty finish, and it adheres well and dries quickly. For those that have been following along, this is a case where I had a donor vehicle for this build. So a lot of these parts you see case by case came from that donor. So every single part I thought about, is the original part the best, or could I find a better part on the donor? Whether it's these tail light lenses, or the bumper on the rear, or whatever the case may be, I made each of those decisions as I went along to get the best possible result. Patina. I'm holding off on some of the interior, like the headliner and the front carpet. I just want to make sure there are no leaks before I install everything. I also haven't decided what I'm going to do about the audio system. I found a place out of New York that remanufactures all of the stickers for these vehicles that are under the hood or all over the vehicle. So I ordered a set. That's where I got the Range Rover lettering, but also all these little stickers that you see here. So it allowed me to go around, and I was able to remove all of the original stickers, which were in terrible shape, and replace them all. So that turned out great. Also, all the carpeting was in pretty good shape on my original black vehicle, but I did go through it and steam clean everything, and put the best carpet I had back into the vehicle. This is not new carpet. It's just cleaned and the original back in. The rear seats did not have enough wear to warrant reupholstering them. They looked pretty good. So the rear seats are original. The front seats I did have recovered in leather, and they look great, and they're all brand new looking. So the interior is going to turn out great here. The windows were actually, the doors were actually a big effort. I gutted them out to nothing for the paint work, but then when I got them all back, I had to put them all back together, including all the power lifts and the glass and the trim and the doors latches and everything. So a lot of work to get the doors ready. It's easy to forget how complicated a door can be, a modern door, with all of its mechanical parts. But they're all back on, and it's of course you still have to adjust that strike location to get the right gap on the door, because I took all these things off for the paint phase, so I had to reset those to get that angle just right.